The rise of organic tea culture in China and Japan. It is wonderful that you want to dive deep into the world of organic tea. You've got the foundation down perfectly, but to explore the soul of this movement, we need to go beyond the history books and look at the daily lives of the farmers, the chemistry of the soil, and the specific tea varieties that are leading this green revolution. Grab a warm mug, settle in, and let's take a long, winding journey through the tea clouds of East Asia. The philosophy of the leaf, why organic is a homecoming. To understand the rise of organic tea in China and Japan, we have to acknowledge a bit of irony. For nearly 5,000 years, tea was inherently organic. When the legendary Emperor Shennong was purportedly poisoned by 72 different herbs and saved by a tea tea by the
it's about realizing that a cup of tea is a liquid connection to a specific piece of
wasn't
earth.
treated with glyphosate or synthetic nitrogen. It was a wild forest-dwelling plant. The rise of organic tea today isn't so much a new invention as it is a homecoming. It is a conscious decision by a new generation of growers to stop fighting nature and start dancing with it again. In Chinese philosophy, this is often linked to Wu Wei, the art of non-doing or effortless action. In Japan, it connects to Mottainai, a sense of regret over waste and a deep respect for resources. The Chinese landscape, biodiversity, and the wild tea movement. China's approach to organic tea is massive, messy, and incredibly beautiful. Because China is the birthplace of all 6 types of tea: green, white, yellow, oolong, black, and dark Pu-erh. The organic movement looks different depending on which mountain you're climbing. Yunnan and the ancient tea forests. If you travel to the Xishuangbanna region in Yunnan, you won't see the neatly manicured tabletop flat tea hedges you see in travel brochures. Instead, you'll find ancient tea gardens. Here, tea trees are hundreds, sometimes even 1,000 years old. These trees grow in a polyculture. This means they are surrounded by camphor trees, wild orchids, and various ferns. And this natural biodiversity acts as a built-in organic system. The camphor trees keep certain pests away, while the fallen leaves of other plants create a rich, natural mulch. The rise of organic culture here has been about protecting these old tree, gushu, ecosystems from the temptation of modern fertilizers, which might make them grow faster, but would ultimately ruin the complex, deep mineral flavor that tea lovers crave. The challenge of the smallholder. The biggest hurdle for organic tea in China is the scale of the farming. Most tea in China is grown on tiny plots by families. For a farmer in the Wu Mountains growing high-end rock oolong yancha, the cost of international organic certification can be more than their annual profit. Because of this, a shadow organic culture has emerged. These are farmers who use organic practices, hand weeding, using goat manure, and avoiding sprays, but sell their tea based on interpersonal trust rather than a logo. In the tea markets of Guangzhou or Beijing, a buyer will sit with the farmer, look at the health of the leaves, and at taste the lack of chemicals. There's a saying in China, the tea leaf never lies. If a tea has been forced with the chemicals, the throat feel, the hou yun is often tight or scratchy. Organic tea, by contrast, feels round and clean. The Japanese landscape, tech-driven purity. While China's organic movement feels like a return to the forest, Japan's movement feels like a feat of engineering. Japan is a small island nation with limited arable land. For decades, the goal was efficiency. To get that bright neon green color in Sencha and that intense umami hit, farmers used heavy amounts of nitrogen. The matcha boom. The global explosion of matcha has been the single biggest driver for organic farming in Japan because matcha involves consuming the entire leaf ground into a fine powder rather than just steeping it. Consumers are understandably terrified of pesticide residues. If you're eating the leaf, you want it to be clean. Regions like Uji near Kyoto and Kagoshima have become the front lines. Kagoshima in particular has seen a huge surge in organic production because its flat terrain allows for the use of specialized machinery. Japanese farmers have invented incredible ways to stay organic. The hurricane method, using giant fans and water sprayers to literally blow and wash bugs off the tea bushes. Black curtains to get the umami flavor without chemical nitrogen. Organic farmers are perfecting shading techniques. By covering the plants for weeks before harvest, they force the plant to produce more chlorophyll and amino acids naturally. The taste of organic, is it actually better? This is the million-dollar question in the tea houses of Tokyo and Shanghai. If you talk to a traditionalist, they might tell you that organic tea is actually harder to make taste good. Why? Because a tea plant that isn't pampered with chemicals has to struggle. But here's the secret. Struggle creates flavor. When a tea plant is attacked by a small insect called a leafhopper, the plant panics and releases a natural defense chemical. In certain oolongs, like the famous Oriental Beauty, this reaction creates a stunning honey and peach aroma. You can't get that flavor if you kill the bugs with pesticides. The rise of organic tea culture is, in many ways, a celebration of these flaws. We are learning to love the taste of a plant that has survived on its own merits. The new social rituals, tea as the new wine. In the West, we often think of organic food as something you buy at a grocery store. In China and Japan, it has become a social status symbol. In Shanghai, you'll find tea ateliers that look like high-end Apple stores. Young professionals go there to have tea flights. They might start with an organic white tea from Fujian, noted for its high antioxidant count, and move to a nitrogen-infused organic cold brew. For this generation, organic tea isn't just about health, it's about provenance. They want to know the name of the farmer. They want to see photos of the mountain. They want to see the soil analysis. This level of transparency is a direct reaction to the black box of industrial food production. The role of the environment and climate change. We can't talk about the rise of organic tea without talking about the weather. Tea is the canary in the coal mine for climate change because tea is so sensitive to temperature and rainfall. Many farmers are finding that their traditional calendar is broken. Organic farming builds resilience. Chemically treated soil becomes hard and compacted over time, making it terrible at holding water during a drought. Organic soil enriched with compost and biochar acts like a sponge. In Japan, organic farmers have noticed that their bushes survived late spring frosts better than their neighbors' conventional bushes. The organic plants had deeper root systems and a more robust immune system. A glimpse into the future, 2026 and beyond. As we look toward the future, the organic label might actually disappear. Not because the movement is failing, but because it's becoming the baseline. In Japan, there is a growing movement toward natural cultivation, shizen saibai. This goes a step beyond organic. In natural cultivation, you don't even use organic fertilizer. You use nothing but the soil's own power and the fallen leaves of the tea tree. It is the ultimate expression of the tea plant's spirit. In China, the government's rural vitalization program is pouring money into ecotourism. They want urbanites to visit organic tea farms, pick their own leaves, and see the biodiversity for themselves. This creates a feedback loop. The more people see the beauty of an organic farm, the more they are willing to pay for the tea. The cup in your hand, the rise of organic tea culture in China and Japan is a story of balance. It's about balancing the ancient wisdom of the ancestors with the scientific needs of the modern world. It's about realizing that a cup of tea is a liquid connection to a specific piece of earth. When you choose an organic tea, you aren't just avoiding chemicals. You are supporting a farmer who spent their morning weeding by hand. You are protecting a water source in a mountain village. You are ensuring that the tea forests of Yunnan and the hills of Shizuoka stay green for another 5,000 years. The revolution is quiet, it's slow, and it's steeping right now.